Welcome, future educators. I am so incredibly thrilled to have you here today. If you're gearing up for your certification exam and getting ready to step into your very own classroom or gym, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving into an explainer on a truly crucial piece of your instructional puzzle. We're looking at Competency 004H, which is all about teaching strategies, tactics, and teamwork to boost student performance. So let's jump right in, because honestly, understanding this specific competency is absolutely going to shape how your students perform, how they cooperate, and how they ultimately succeed in your class. Think of me as your instructional coach today. We are going to take all these academic concepts and show you exactly what they look like in the real world.
Okay, I want you to visualize this with me. You're standing out on the field with a fresh group of eager kids. You blow that whistle to start a soccer game, and boom! Immediately, every single student on the field sprints straight toward the ball, right? It's just this giant chaotic swarm of kicking legs and elbows, kind of moving like a massive amoeba across the grass. There are absolutely no positions, no passing, just a frantic, breathless chase. If you have ever seen young kids play sports, you know exactly what I am talking about. So why do they do this? Well, as their future teacher, this is the exact instructional challenge you're going to face. It's so easy to look at that swarm and think, oh, they just don't know the rules. But the reality is actually much deeper, and fixing it is exactly what Competency 004.8 is all about. The core truth you need to internalize right now is that physical education is so much more than just teaching isolated skills. As a new teacher, it's super tempting to think your whole job is just teaching a kid how to kick, how to throw, or how to catch. But an effective teacher, they know a student can have the absolute perfect kicking form and still be completely lost the second a game starts. Why is that? Well, it's because those isolated movements haven't been connected to real-time action yet. Your job isn't just to drill the physical movement. Your job is to show students how, when, and importantly, why to use these skills during an actual game. And you know what? That is exactly how we break up the swarm. Here is our quick game plan for today. We'll start by mastering the core concepts, then look at action, 5th grade soccer, move into reflective decision-making, hit the key exam takeaways, and wrap up with your future classroom. Starting off with Section 1, mastering the core concepts and building your instructional toolkit. Now, please don't look at this academic language as just, boring vocabulary to memorize for a test. These are the literal building blocks of student performance. They're the practical tools you'll use to fix that chaotic soccer game we just imagined. So let's start with the big one, spatial awareness. This is understanding your own position and movement in relation to other people, objects, and space. Remember that amoeba swarm chasing the ball? The whole reason they're doing that is a total lack of spatial awareness. They are entirely hyper-focused on the object, the ball, and they've completely lost track of the space around them and their teammates on the field. So, as a teacher, when you tell a student to spread out or find some open space, you are directly teaching spatial awareness. It's a fundamental concept they literally have to grasp before any real gameplay can happen. Next up, we have skill combination. This means 2 or more movement skills performed together to complete a specific task. Think about it. In isolation, your student might know exactly how to run. And in isolation, they might know how to kick a ball that's just sitting there. But in a real game, those things never happen separately. Skill combination is what happens when that student has to seamlessly transition from sprinting full speed down the field to instantly planting their foot and kicking a moving ball. As an educator, you've got to design activities that actually bridge that gap, helping them link these isolated movements together fluidly. And that brings us to one of the most absolutely crucial distinctions you'll need, both for your exam and for your actual classroom: strategy versus tactic. Okay, a strategy is a planned approach used to achieve a goal. It's the big picture. A tactic, on the other hand, is a specific action used to carry out that strategy. Let's make this real, okay? Your class's overall strategy might be to maintain possession of the ball so they can get closer to the goal. That is the master plan. The tactic they use to pull that off might be a short, quick pass to a teammate who happens to be open on the right side. So again, strategy is the overarching plan. The tactic is the specific on-the-field action. Keeping these two completely clear in your head will serve you so well on the certification exam. Building right on top of that, we have the basic dichotomy of gameplay decision-making. Offense versus defense. Offense involves actions taken by a team trying to score, while defense involves actions taken to prevent the other team from scoring. I mean, it sounds simple enough, right? But for young learners, this requires some serious, constant mental agility. Students have to constantly evaluate their role in real time. Wait, does my team have the ball? Yes? Okay, I'm on offense. I need to move to open space. Or, Uh-oh, did we just lose the ball? Yes? Okay, I'm instantly on defense. I need to get between my opponent and the goal right now. Teaching kids this rapid-fire decision-making is a massive part of your job. All right, let's move to Section 2, Action, 5th grade soccer. This is theory in motion on the field. So let's actually take the theory we just talked about and put it into motion. I want you to step into the shoes of a 5th grade educator setting up a modified soccer game. How do we literally roll this out to our students? Well, step 1, you teach the isolated physical skills, passing and dribbling. Get their feet nice and comfortable with the ball. But we definitely do not stop there. Step 2, you introduce moving into open space. Boom, you're immediately injecting spatial awareness right into the lesson. You're teaching them exactly where to go when they don't have the ball, which is most of the time. And finally, step 3, you discuss teamwork and communication. You show them how passing the ball into that open space helps the whole group succeed. Just like that, you've taken them from a simple physical movement to a comprehensive cooperative game strategy. So if you take nothing else away, remember this. Students must learn when and why to use a skill, not just how. This right here is the absolute beating heart of Competency 004 each. Think about it. If a 5th grader knows exactly how to dribble perfectly, but they decide to dribble directly into a wall of 3 defenders instead of passing to a wide-open teammate, their decision-making has totally failed, right? Even if their footwork is flawless. Your ultimate goal as their teacher is to foster that real-time decision-making so they recognize the when and the why in the heat of the moment. Section 3, Reflective Decision-Making. Thinking like an experienced educator. Okay, I want to pause our flow for just a second here. I want to shift you from just listening to me to actively reflecting like a real practitioner. What would you do in this situation to improve teamwork? Imagine your 5th graders are playing that soccer game we talked about, but 2 really highly skilled students are just completely dominating the ball. They're doing literally all the scoring, and the rest of the class is just standing around watching them. Teamwork is at an absolute 0. Take a mental practice rep with me right now. How do you respond to that? Do you modify the rules? Maybe you require 3 passes before anyone is allowed to take a shot on goal? Or do you blow the whistle, freeze the game, and ask the class to point out who is currently standing in open space? This kind of on-the-fly thinking is exactly what it means to be an effective teacher. You make real-time adjustments that essentially force your students to rely on each other and communicate. And as you're making those real-time adjustments, you've got to ask yourself this critical question. Are your tactics developmentally appropriate for your students? This is massively important, both for passing your exam and for surviving your actual classroom. You simply cannot teach a complex, shifting zone defense to a group of 1st graders who are honestly still figuring out their left from the right. Strategy instruction absolutely has to be age appropriate. It has to focus on improving basic participation and cooperation first, and only building up to those more complex tactics when they are cognitively and physically ready for them. Moving into Section 4. Key exam takeaways. These are the essential facts you need for certification. All right, if you've got a pen handy, now is the time to use it. Here are your 4 definitive takeaways from our source material for the exam. Number 1, students should learn how to apply skills in real game situations, not just in isolated drills. Number 2, teamwork and strategy are actual, measurable instructional goals. They aren't just lucky byproducts of playing a game, they are concepts you have to actively teach. Number 3, tactics must be age and developmentally appropriate. You always have to match the strategy to the cognitive level of your students. And finally, number 4, understanding when to use a skill is just as important as knowing how to perform it correctly. Decision-making is the ultimate key. Lock these 4 points into your brain and you are going to be in fantastic shape for the test. And our final section today, your future classroom. Let's apply this to student success. This is where we bring everything we've talked about together and apply it to actual, real-world student success. I want you to project yourself forward a bit. You've aced your exam, you are standing in your very own gym, and I want to leave you with this foundational definition. Teamwork, individuals working together cooperatively to achieve a common goal. Yes, we use this definition to understand the concept for the exam, absolutely. But I want you to view this as the ultimate overarching goal of your physical education instruction. When you teach spatial awareness, when you break down the difference between offense and defense, when you literally force your students to stop and look for the open pass, you are doing so much more than teaching gym class. You are teaching them how to exist in a community. You're teaching them how to work together. So, I'll leave you with this one final provocative thought. Next year, when you blow that whistle for the very first time and you see that giant, chaotic swarm of kids happily chasing the ball, how will you transform that classroom chaos into strategic, cooperative success? The best part is you have the tools now. You understand the strategy, the tactics, and the pedagogy behind it all. I just know you are going to be an absolutely incredible educator, and I cannot wait for you to get out there and start teaching. Good luck and keep learning.